So here we are coming up on 2 years into this pandemic. I don't know about you, but I'm noticing that my Facebook memories and Google photo memories are showing me all the photos from 2 years ago right before we were heading into this pandemic. And so it's got me thinking about leadership lessons on the other side of this. We are getting to the other side of this, right? We're so close. We're so close. But I think there's some valuable lessons that we can take away, especially as we are beginning to return to normal, or we're embracing whatever this new sense of normal is. We operate across multiple states. Some of those states still have masking mandates in place. Some have not had masking mandates for a long time. And so we're beginning to think from a leadership standpoint about how do we communicate to people where we stand on all things related to life in the new normal. And I think the important lesson here, some real takeaways for any employer, is to first of all, consider what you want your culture to be on the other side of the pandemic. We do have a culture quiz that I will link here too, that you can take. You can take a quick gander at that assessment and really evaluate your own culture. But what do you want your culture to look like? I would suggest that we all want to create a culture of kindness, and we all want to create a culture of emotional safety. And so what does that look like inside of your organization? It's worthwhile to bring leaders together to talk about what does that look like now as we begin to take masks down, we begin to bring people back into the offices, and we begin to navigate this new normal. I also think communication is huge. And I don't want to point too much blame or fingers at any of our leaders. I would think we've all had a tough road to follow. But I think one of the things that we could all have done better collectively is to communicate intent and to communicate what we've learned and what we're still learning. There's a lot of things that we were navigating over the past 2 years that were evolving, and it would have been better to acknowledge that they were evolving and to bring people along to help them understand what we were learning as we were learning it, and be very open and transparent about our intentions around policies, around decisions. People can tolerate mistakes, they can tolerate changes of direction if they understand the why behind it. And then the last point would be to be consistent. I just saw a headline about a major company, a Fortune 100 company, who recently announced that they are going to be voluntarily enacting a vaccination requirement for their corporate headquarters staff. Interestingly, they're not requiring that for their retail employees or their field technician employees. The reason for enacting it for the headquarters employees was all about safety. And it sort of raised the question, what about the safety of those retail employees? Doesn't seem like maybe that decision is consistent. So not second guessing the decision. Every company needs to make the decision that's right for them, but make sure that you're communicating the intent, you're being consistent about how those policies and practices are being employed. And above all, how do you want your culture to withstand whatever decisions you're making as we all move forward into whatever comes next? I encourage you to take a look at that culture quiz and think about those implications as we continue to navigate our way through and to the other side in 2022.